So, as you all know, copper is very important minerals needed for the several physiological functions in our body as well as in animals' body. Primarily, this has important role to play in animals, especially young ones, or the animals those who are in growing stage. So, what are the important role of the copper in our body, either in functional approach or in uh, building approach? So you must be knowing there copper is needed for the growth of bone and muscles. There is a need of copper for proper development of myelin sheath and uh, normal functioning of leukocytes. These are the important functions of copper. And if there will be deficiency of copper in young ones, these functions will be hampered, either physiological in nature or anatomical or building in nature. So we need to maintain the normal quantity, normal quantum of copper in blood so that the functional and structural or you can say that building nature of different component of uh, tissues, cells or organ can't be harmed. And as far as clinical manifestation is concerned, we have already discussed in previous class. So we today we will not going in detail about the clinical manifestations and another things. So simply we will focus upon the discussion on the copper importance of copper in the life of animals and young ones. Uh, Kamlesh, you put your microphone in. Kamlesh. Okay. So, what is the reason behind the development of copper deficiency in animals? So you must have observed or you must have seen so many situations. You must have gone through the data coming from the agriculture sector that the soil of particular area is deficient in copper. So copper, once the soil will be deficient in copper, what will happen? It will consequently lead to the deficiency of copper in feed and forage, which will be grown on that particular soil. So first thing is the deficiency of copper in the soil where the feed is being grown to feed the cattle population or animals living in those areas. Okay, this is first one. And another thing which is very important, as you see today, lot of fertilizer is being applied in agriculture sector to grow the crops well. Okay, but very few of the farmers, very few number of farmers is getting the soil testing done. Okay, and inadvertent use of fertilizers, especially phosphatic and sulfur containing fertilizer, reduces the absorption of copper from soil to the crops as well. Okay, so this is important that whenever there is need of, wherever there is need of applying fertilizers in our field or our crops, we should have gone, we should go for the mineral estimation in the soil in those area and after getting the result from the agriculture specialist, we should apply the minerals required for the growth of pastures or cereals or whatever crops they are growing in the field. Another cause of copper deficiency is the inadvertent use of sulfur containing and phosphatic fertilizer to soil, even though they are not deficient in those components. Okay, so for that we need to assess or estimate the level of copper. And once there will be excessive use of copper, these fertilizers in the field, the copper absorption by the crops will be reduced even after having the adequate quantity of copper in the soil. This is one factor which hampers the ultimate availability of copper in the animals. Okay, and once there will be copper, deficient forage crops will be available in terms of copper, and that will be fed to the animal. Obviously, it will lead to the less absorption of copper from the gut because of less availability in the forage crops. So these two important things you keep in mind while considering for the disease which may caused by the deficiency of copper or other minerals. Okay, so there are two forms of copper deficiency, as I told you earlier in last class. That is subclinical form or hypotrichosis. Subclinical hypotrichosis, and it occurs usually due to primary deficiency of copper, and there will be no clear-cut clinical manifestation in this particular instances. And another one is the secondary copper deficiency or clinical copper deficiency. As I told you earlier, just previous class, that if there will be excessive availability of molybdenum in gut, either due to forage containing much molybdenum, sulfur, there will be less absorption of calcium, copper, and it will produce the deficiency of the blood and organ needs copper for their proper uh, functions or maintaining the normal architecture detail. Uh, what will happen? How does the molybdenum impairs the absorption of copper from the once there will be availability of molybdenum, copper will react with molybdenum in presence of some enzymes and it will form a thiomolybdate in presence of sulfur. So it will be in combined form and it will not be available for the absorption. And some special name has been given to the clinical form of copper deficiency in different classes of animals. The previous class we have discussed about that in very short because of very less time we had because I uh, considered all the three components iron, copper, and cobalt on that particular day. So I did not explain in much better manner that on that particular day. You must have heard the name Peter Scott. A Scott itself is explanatory in nature. There is no need to explain it much because Scots means constant diarrhea. So Scott
Diarrhea,
is
yes.
one of the important things which is evident in deficiency of copper. So especially in black animals, what will happen? There will be bleaching of hair around the eye. That makes it looking to have wearing the spectacles. That's why name has been given as speckle disease, flatulence. So two-digit name has been implies to the deficiency of copper in catalency, and it's called Vitus phos or third. And another is speckles. So this has already been discussed in the previous class. And as far as sign is concerned, as name itself indicates, but there will be persistent diarrhea with flashes of watery yellow green to black. And there will be effortless passing out of feces from the animal. And what happens usually in normal conditions, the animals takes effort to remove the or to force the fecal material to the outside of it. But in this case, there will be effortless passing of the feces. And you must have seen while passing the feces outside the body, animal usually lift their tail. But in this particular instance, there would be no lifting of tail. So these are the important symptoms through which we can identify the individual or animal is suffering from the copper disorder. Okay, and one of the important thing you should keep in mind is the feces will always be yellow in color, yellow green in color. Okay, so these are the few points which you guys keep in mind once wherever you got this kind of cases or animals from this kind of systems, you can tentatively say that this particular animal is okay. And besides these symptoms, the animal will used to eat normally, but there would be very, very devastating conditions, and animal will be in debilitation condition, debilitated condition. Okay, so the animal is taking normal food, normally taking food and water, but day by day the conditions of animal in terms of body and weight will be deteriorated very fast. Okay, so these are things you need to keep in mind. Next one is the uh, unthriftiness. Unthriftiness means there would be roughness of a skin. There will be uneven distribution of hair on the surface of body. Somewhere you will get the presence of normal hair. Somewhere you will get the very sparsy hair condition hair. And animal, though the animal will eat properly, but they will not able to gain the proper body weight. And the animal, those who are in producing conditions or lactating conditions, will not be produce the milk at the level of their uh, genetic makeup or genetic performance. Okay. Suppose an animal is producing 10 liter of milk, then this is having normal copper concentration in their blood or an organ. But if they are suffering from this particular disorder or deficiency, they will not be able to produce the 10 liter of milk. They may produce 2, 5, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And another thing is the animal will show the stiffness. That means the tendon and ligament is also very much important, also containing adequate quantity or quantum of copper, and which makes them to extend or flex their joints properly. But if there will be deficiency of proper, the extension and flexions of joint will be hampered, and animal will show the stiffness of gait, and they will move in ataxic conditions. Their normal movement will not be there, and animal will stagger. Okay. Epiphysis of the long bone, distal end of the metacarpal and metatarsal, as I already discussed in this class. Epiphysis and metaphysis. There are two components of bone. Must have read in the anatomy or somewhere else. So growth plates is available at the epiphysis. Growing area is the epiphysis. Once the deficiency of copper will be available, the epiphyseal growth will be hampered, and animal will suffer from the osteoid disorder. And osteoid means osteitis will be there. There will be less costochondral articulation, and this will make the joints less flexible, and animal will feel pain whenever they will try to move their joints. Okay, so these are the important things which will come under the unthriftiness or pain. And as far as sheep is concerned, we need to have information and knowledge about this particular animal, because sheep is considered to become more and more vulnerable or susceptible against this particular disease. So, you must have heard the name of indutic ataxia. Ataxia, name itself is explanatory. There is no need of explanation in detail, because ataxia, that means animal will not be able to move properly. There will be staggering movement. Ataxia, why occurs? As I explained in previous slide, the ligament and tendon will not be able to work properly, and that makes the joints less movable, or you can say that the flexion and extension process of joints will be impaired due to deficiency of copper, and animal will suffer from the ataxia, and they will not be able to move properly or normally. And hind quarter is used to suffer from move, because the large masses of muscles available in the hind quarter, and for movement of those area there is also more strength is required, which is provided by the concerned or corresponding tendon and ligaments. Okay, so these are the important things. And wobbling, you must have seen. Wobbling means there would be jerky movement from the hind quarter, and a stage will come when the animal is not able to even keep themselves in a standing position. Okay, so this is the important one, that is called indutic attacks. Now come sway back. Sway back is classified into two forms, that is congenital form. Congenital form occurs due to when the fetus grow inside their mother's womb, and due to faulty genetic uh, faulty genes present in the developmental process, it will lead to the development of some unwanted disorder, that is called congenital form of stroke. Way back means back of the animal will suffer. Large muscles in the back area or hind quarter will suffer. Another form is cerebrospinal form. Cerebrospinal form is the form in which coordination center on the brain is affected, and it makes the animal suffer from the incoordination erratic. The area which maintains the normal postures of the body used to suffer from the due to deficiency of copper. Why this occurs? Cerebrospinal spinal form occurs because when there will be deficiency of copper, the nerve arising from those areas will be deprived of myelin sheath, and once there will be uh, absence of myelin sheath in nerve, no nerve impulse will be transported or transmitted normally. Okay, sometimes it will be transmitted, sometimes it will be not transmitted, which makes the movement erratic in nature or animal will show the uncoordinated movement. That's why it is called as the sway back. And in this particular situation, there will be spastic paralysis. Paralysis is two types. Among them, one of the kinds is the one of the type is the spastic. That means the animal muscles will remain in contracted position, which causes very intense pain to the animal. This is important. In these conditions, there will be a spastic paralysis. Blindness and softening and cavitation of cerebral white matter is also reported in this particular disease. So these are the important things you need to remember in sway back condition. And as far as treatment, diagnosis is important. Diagnosis we did not explain in the earlier classes. So there are two things. We need to diagnose the area, though we are not having such kind of forage land or pasture land, but every individual or every animal is getting some kind of forage, either in dried form or in green form. So, source of forage should be known from where it is coming, and the soil, the area must be investigated. If there would be deficiency of copper in those soils, then what needs to be done? So we have to incorporate the copper in those soils so that the forest growing in the area will not suffer from the deficiency. Okay. One of the important thing diagnostic mode is the estimation of copper in the soil. First thing we should do to reduce the incidence of copper in the area. Another thing is the estimation of copper in blood. So we can estimate the copper in the blood by the earlier it used to be the uh, estimated by the use of double A's, atomic photometry. But right now you can estimate the copper concentration in say, serum simply by a kit which is available, readily available in market. Simply by spectrophotometrically, you can estimate the level of copper in the serum. So by this way, another thing is the most important thing among the diagnostic modes is the diagnosis or estimation of copper from the liver. Liver is supposed to be the storehouse. So, what is the quantity, actual quantity of copper present in the liver cell is the important. So, we can take out the liver cells from the body either uh, in postmortem examination or pre-mortem you can also take it out by uh, biopsies. Liver cells you can take out and you can estimate the copper in liver cells. Best indicator of copper deficiency is the liver. If you are able to do the estimation of copper in liver, then it would be the better or best. And it is said that the copper deficiency is best reflected in liver cells. Okay, so this is important one. So soil testing, blood testing, and liver cell testing or estimation of copper is the important diagnostic methods for the confirmation of copper deficiency. And as far as treatment is concerned, as I told you earlier, uh, copper sulfate at the 4 gram per grams and 10 gram. And if we need to improve the level of copper in forests, we can apply copper sulfate at the dose rate of 10 kg per hectare. If you will apply 10 kg of copper sulfate per hectare of land, the soil of those area will remain normal, or the soil will contain adequate quantity of copper till 8 years, 8 consecutive years. So this is very simple and very economical as well, cheap as well, because copper sulfate is not too much costly. So once the status of soil is available with us, whether there is deficiency of copper or not, we can incorporate the copper in the form of copper sulfate to our soil, and once it will be enriched with copper, the forage crops will be grown in those soils, will have the adequate quantity of copper, and when it will feed to our animals, the animal will not suffer from the copper deficiency. So we can enrich our soil if there is a deficiency of copper in the soil. Another thing is the copper sulfate you can directly feed to the animal as depicted in the slide, 4 gram per calf and 8 to 10 grams per adult. And if you want to give the injectable form of copper, you can give the copper glycinate or methionine or heptanoate at the dose rate of 400 milligram in cattle and 150 milligram in sheep, intramuscular, deep intramuscular, weekly for 3 to 5 years. So this is, I think, all about the copper deficiency, and you could also read some textbook, especially Blood and Anderson. Very detailed has been given in Blood and Anderson. So you will be able to understand in much better manner if you can read the textbook about the uh, deficiency of diseases of copper and other minerals. So it is advisable to everyone. I request you everyone to must read it from the textbook so that you can have better understanding about this particular. Okay. So little bit earlier we have completed, okay, because I today only discuss about the property. So by these words I am concluding this class. Okay. Thank you for listening. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.